So good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the WoT Pro League Season 2. This is the last online day we're going to be getting, pretty much. This is the one that, well, we saw a very important set of games last time, but this is just to see the rest and get some of those rankings and seedings in the back of our minds, because we will be going through to Gamescom for the next very important games. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, it is going to be Matchday 22. We do have the likes of Mousesports up against SPALE, the community favourites out there in the world. I love them as well, guys, do not fear. And then following on, Evil Panda Squad up against Denova. Now, we did get to see a little bit of Denova last week, but they didn't do wonderfully, but they did very well eventually. They kind of secured the victory in the end. But if you haven't seen it, make sure you check out those VODs. But we're having a good season so far, haven't we?
It's been a great season. We know our top 6 finishes already, so now it's really about, you know, those 6th to 8th, 10th place or something like that. So those teams will want to be fighting as hard as they can, so they don't have to fight the top Go for What and the top A series teams. So yeah, it's been a good season. We are 22 match days in, surprisingly, because it feels like yesterday. Like, it's been such a short season. We've been like a month. It's been crazy. 2 match days every day apart from the last 2. And Gamescom, it's less than a month away. So yeah, if you are deciding to head out there, do give us a shout. Don't be strangers, because yeah, if you want to give us any questions, as long as they're not T1 questions or artillery questions, then we'll be more than happy to answer them.
I want you all to come to Gamescom, right? It is on the 24th of the 8th, and just constantly ask him why they play with tier 1s. If you do come to Gamescom, feel free to ask him that. I'll find it hilarious, personally. So make sure you get yourself down there to check out the real grand finals of this. But guys, let's have a little look at the season so far, so we can find out the overall rankings, and obviously that top 6 that's so important. So let's have a little look here at the current top 3 as well. So looking at my screen, we do have WoT Pro once again reclaiming their throne as such, knocking Dingtas off there and getting their record back on track to 20 wins and only 2 losses. Dingtas following up in second on 18-3. So very impressive all around for those two. You know, not the perfect season that they may have had in season 1, but it's certainly, you know, a hard-fought time for both of them, and they've done very well. But they have lost the likes of Kaz and Crew and SPALE between them, both teams showing real progression, and we have seen Kaz and Crew get themselves up to that 4th position. And obviously that's a massive improvement on the first season. These guys were barely within the top 6 before, scraping by, and now sitting very good in 4th place with, you know, a fair few wins. 13 wins, 9 losses, not an awful record to have overall. But the bigger picture is that top 6. Now, who's standing out to you that you think should be in there that didn't quite make it this time around?
Well, I think SPALE is probably the biggest culprit there. I mean, they go to every single offline event. They've been representing their team for a long time, and they're such a good group of players. And you know, they haven't really had that many roster changes or general changes. So you would have expected them to qualify. Obviously, they took Evil Panda Squad's spot last time. But yeah, I think SPALE is probably the biggest upset. Dragonborns, I guess, would be the biggest upset if you didn't realize that, you know, they've had so many team problems, roster changes. You know, half the team went on holiday, etc., etc. So Dragonborns is kind of a given. Apart from that, I think, you know, it's kind of as expected. I mean, Team WD, they had some absolutely superb results. And some really bad results as well. Some teams they perhaps should have won against, they definitely didn't. So I think that's more about inexperience. They need to just improve generally as a team, get some training down for season 3, and I think we'll see them blossom in that one. Yeah,
definitely. And I just want to point something out here, right? The top 2 teams, Dingtas and WoT Pro, they've played 43 games and lost 5. Then you look at ranked 3rd, Mousesports, who've done extremely well. Do not get me wrong, we will be seeing them today. But they've lost more games in one team than the top 2 combined. That is highly impressive going out from Dingtas and WoT Pro. So these guys, I can't wait to see at the finals. They're the guys that I want to see really starting to perform. And, well, we know they can do. That's the thing. They're a team that even at the, you know, online and offline events, they always give us a good showing. So, obviously, great games coming up. But today's games, we do see, obviously, the likes of Mousesports kicking off first against SPALE. Now, how do you think that one's going to go? What's your light prediction towards that?
It's a hard call. I mean, SPALE have been doing so well towards the beginning of the season, and then they've just completely dropped off. They are the only team, well, along with Team Dignitas, obviously, that has beaten WoT Pro. The last time these guys met was a 3-1 victory to Mousesports. So I guess on paper, Mousesports definitely have it. And considering how well they've been doing the last few match days, I think they had a record of 6 or 7 wins in a row. So that's extremely impressive. And considering they had such a hard, rocky road at the beginning and middle season areas, I think Mousesports definitely looking the stronger team. Although SPALE, they are that team that can just pull amazing results out the bag.
They're a dangerous side. That's the thing with them. you can't ever quite predict them. If you watch the VODs back, make sure you do on the WoTProLeague.com/season2 website. Check it out and watch any of their games back, because sometimes it's like you're looking at two different teams. When they turn up, they're incredible. When they don't, they're barely there. It's hard to call on these guys, but I always want to put faith in them. I think they're a team that have so much potential. I feel like I have to back them on this one, just because I want to see them doing well. But Mousesports, certainly a hard foe to come up against, especially at this point. You know, hopes and dreams are slightly dashed, but they can still do it. They're a team that proved themselves before to be able to, you know, handle themselves in these situations. But what do you think this game's going to go like? I mean, the first quick prediction.
Well, last time these guys met was the Ents, because it's the only map that SPALE took, which is not really that surprising considering they are the best team, in my opinion, in the league on Ents. They're just incredible. I don't know what's it about that map, but it like suits their playstyle down to a T. So I think we are playing Ents this time round. I think so that will probably go to SPALE. Although Mousesports, I honestly think they're going to take it, but I think it will be a 3-2 just because SPALE has nothing to lose here. They're not going to qualify for Gamescom already. That we know our top place 6 finishers. If you do WoTProLeague.com, you just look at the top 6. Those are going to Gamescom, so they can't qualify. The only thing they can do is make sure that they're not going to be fighting Seven Sins as well, and OM Injection, who are coming first for an A series and Go 4. So they don't want to be fighting those two because they'll be the strongest teams. They want to be fighting the low ones down. So that's the only thing they have in their mind. So they want to be winning, but they don't. It's not like they're going to be qualifying for an offline event or something.
The thing with SPALE is they can be dangerous when it gets like
exactly,
that.
Exactly.
When they don't have that caution to them, when they have that little bit of carefree play, they're a very hard team to deal with. So Mousesports certainly have their work cut out, but you've heard our thoughts towards this, and I know a certain someone who can involve you in this as well, because we want to know what you think at home, because obviously our predictions are normally pretty damn awful. I'll put it out there now. We cannot call games for toffee, but obviously we give it a go, and you guys can do that as well, and there's a lot, you know, some goodies out there for you if you get it right. So let's pass you over to a lady who can actually introduce it properly. It is the one and only Melly. How are we doing today?
Evening. Good evening. It is, well, it is the final day, the final match day, the final online match day. And before we come to the usual stuff, I prepared something special for today. Some of you may already notice the post on our Facebook page, which I uploaded yesterday. And yeah, this is it. This is it. I started a contest. Yeah, since Gamescom is coming closer and closer, we need fan signs to support our teams. And yeah, I tried to make one.
I like the coloring on the tank. That's
a
lot of effort.
It took me quite a while.
Wow.
But I'm sure you can do it better. We already have some submissions from our community. Thank you for that. But I think you can also do better. So I'm really excited what submissions will come in today. I'm waiting for it. And you can, of course, win stuff. I haven't announced it yet, but I will do now. The first place of this small contest, of my fan sign contest, will get 5,000 gold.
Whoa.
First place.
Wow.
Second place, 3,000. Third place, still 1,500, and all the three of them will get bonus codes as well. So get yourself in there. You saw the post on our Facebook page /WoT Pro League, and just draw something nice, take a photo, upload it in the comments below, and you're in the race. It's easy.
Now that sounds pretty darn good. If I had time to do this, I might have to scribble something out while you're doing the tank pickings and hold the sign up. Maybe I'll get away with it. I don't know, but I certainly want that gold.
I really want that gold.
Indeed.
5,000? I didn't know we were giving away that much. Where's my gold?
Get involved, guys. It's sounding pretty incredible. Get your drawing skills out. Get the crayons on the go. Whatever you have at home, make sure you get it done because, wow, it's going to be good. And all you SPALE fans out there, come on, these guys have a huge community behind them. Get it going, all I'm saying. So obviously we will be going into the game in just a second, but before we do, let's have a little look at the teams head-to-head and see what we're going to be in for. Because obviously Mousesports are in that third position, but SPALE did do well. They are sitting in 8th. They had a great run initially. They put some good results under their belt, but they let it slip. But what are you seeing here between them? Who's going to be your standout players here? Well,
I'd usually go straight for Dovahkiin on SPALE, but just by his recent results, he's definitely not been performing up to par. It's a shame. I want to see him continue playing and continue improving as a player because he was fantastic at one point. But going down SPALE's list, we got a fair few guys we can talk about. We got Eurofish, the team captain of SPALE, always plays very well, leading from the front, usually from an AMX 5100 or thereabouts. BND, the new player from SPALE, well, I say new, we're pretty much the last day of Season 2, so I guess he's at least seasoned with one season, if that makes sense.
Seasoned with one season.
Exactly, there we go. Agaha, also a brilliant player. Mopetti, I mean, I love SPALE. I love SPALE's lineup. It's a really fantastic bunch of guys. Mousesports, equally so. Carmen, Elian, the team manager, the team leader, guys who make the tactics, do all the organisation. So big props to those guys. We got Puzzling, Kazwob as well. Christopher playing that T69 fantastically, and Butcher, well, he butchers everyone in that T32 or IS3. Fantastic player from him. But generally, in terms of skill level, I would say these guys are pretty close. So as close as you're really going to get in this league, apart from Team Dignitas and Virtus Pro.
Yeah, that's the case between these two, isn't it? The Mousesports seem more consistent in their results. They may not excel against the top teams, but they certainly get the wins in that they should. Whereas SPALE shine and then become rather dim afterwards. It's that kind of disparity between the two, but they are very similar in skill. If you put them player to player, I don't think you'd be able to, make a huge difference between them. You'd come out with a very similar result. But as a collective, Mousesports clearly that little bit stronger, getting that third place. So let's have a little look towards the map we're going to be seeing first of all, because it will be Himmelsdorf. It's not going to be Ensk, so it won't get the likes of, SPALE up there and ready just as of yet. But how do you think that one's going to go down between these two? Because it's a city map, so similar to Ensk in that aspect, because it is very much played towards the city a lot of the times. But do you think Mousesports will have something, in the bag for this?
I'm not a fan of Mousesports on Himmelsdorf, to be honest. I've never really enjoyed the way they play it. Surprisingly enough, because they are a Polish team, and the Polish teams are generally very good at heavy tanks, very good on city maps, but not a massive fan. So SPALE's being a little bit more dynamic. They're a bit more free-thinking. I think they're a better team on city maps in general. And I mean, they always win Ensk, and that's a city map. So I think SPALE has a good chance, but that's if they don't throw it. If they don't charge through the middle or throw it to the banana,
these guys.
Exactly. As long as they don't throw it and they just play properly, then SPALE will probably take this one. But that's like chalk and cheese. They are going to throw it, so there's no point in even saying that. I mean,
I hope they don't. I want to see the SPALE that can beat and challenge Virtus Pro and Dig. I want to see those guys turn up today. But they're already playing around with Togs in the chat. They're looking a little bit amused already. These guys, they're in one of their moods, let's just say. So SPALE could be an interesting one to watch, just for the pure cheese they could possibly come out with. But obviously, guys, we are getting close to the finals. So the likes of Mousesports will want to be using this for practice, get those last, adjustments done in the official games that they can do, because they don't have a lot of time left now.
Indeed.
The finals is around the corner. I can't stress it enough. These guys are going to be working every day to try and make sure this one is correct. So hopefully we'll be getting those tank picks underway nice and quickly. Hopefully the admins can give them a nudge to get them calming down a touch, put the Togs away and get back to the normal game, because it's...
apparently not.
Yeah,
no,
apparently not.
We're going to be watching Togs all around.
We're going to be watching Togs.
Yeah. I think the guy at the back who has to load the gun has to walk about 10 miles to get to the chamber. It's such an insanely long tank if anyone played it. But it's pretty fun, to be honest. It's got a good gun, can take a lot of shots, it's got lots of HP, but I don't know. They're going to be trolling us here, I think. But, we can talk about Gamescom a little bit, because these guys, these teams, all they're trying to do is qualify in the top 6 spot. At the end of the day, when they get to an offline final, that's when you'll see them playing another 10 to 20% more on top of their own performances here on the online. All they're trying to do on online is qualify, but at offline events, they're trying to win money. So that's just such a big point to make.
Yeah, exactly that. And I'm still seeing a lot of Togs here.
You're seeing a lot of Togs.
And I'm seeing Readies coming out as well. Ready to roll out. Are we really having a Tog battle here?
We are having a Tog battle.
Oh my word.
Well,
what a way to kick things off. It's going to be a little bit different, at least. So, we were worried about SPALE doing the kind of cheesy stuff.
They're not going to be able to do cheesy stuff. It's not quick enough. It's just going to be like, you're going to see it, and you're going to have about 20 minutes to react.
It's like a submarine that had, tracks attached to it.
Yeah.
It's huge. But, yeah, all arty is another possibility here. These guys are clearly just having a little bit of a giggle for the first map, because, as you said, the top 6 is confirmed now. But SPALE, they've got to be careful. The teams coming out for the Go-Forwards in the A-Series, they're not to be taken lightly. Some of the very best have come through that route. And you can't take them, as a walk in the park, but this is certainly going to be a very interesting one. And what can we expect from the sheer Tog battle we're going to see?
We're going to see probably everyone just drive straight into the middle of the map and just start shooting each other and bouncing each other because the penetration isn't that high and they've got a lot of frontal armor, and it's going to take absolutely ages for anyone to kill anyone because they got so much HP. I think it's like 1,350 for a pretty low tier tank, and it's like tier 6 or something. But yeah, in terms of the winner, I would say, I don't know, whoever gets the most lucky, doesn't bounce as much, does the most damage, etc., then who will win. It's not going to be on skill if they just decide to run into each other. I don't know. But yeah, Tog battle is Tog. Tog.
Indeed, if they'd called it the Hodor tank, I could have had some fun with it.
It's Steven's favourite tank.
Is this Hodor's favourite tank?
Mm-hmm.
I did like the pictures I've seen made.
It's just
of
about
Steven.
big enough for him to get in there, I think.
Ooh, bitchy remarks. He can't help it. He has, eating
Big
issues.
bones, big
Yes,
bones.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Bless him. But I think they're ready, and as are we. So we will be seeing Tog battle on Himmelsdorf. Not sure what to make of this.
You've never seen the Tog in action, have you?
I played it.
Have you?
My stream told me to try out the Tog, and I see why they were trolling me.
Yeah.
It's interesting, I'll give it that. You won't be missed. But I think we are almost ready to get underway here, guys. So if you are a fan of the Tog, make sure you tweet this out. Get your pictures Tog related, because it's going to be a Tog showdown on Himmelsdorf. Mouse going completely Tog crazy, as is SPALE. Let's have a look. And welcome to Tog City, previously called Himmelsdorf. We've retitled it for the sheer sake of it. And we will be seeing Mouse starting in the north in blue in their very ever so slow Togs, churning away up against the one and only, well, I don't think these even deserve an introduction, because I need to make this, really kind of go a long way out here.
Look at the size of these tracks. They're insane.
They're insane. Look at them compared to, like, the cars around them or a whole house.
It's mental. I mean, it's
wow.
it's a pretty cool looking thing, to be honest.
Yeah, of course it is. But they see me togging, they hating.
They're Tog good to go.
Oh dear Lord, who let you do puns?
You let me do puns all the time. But
I don't let you. Let is a strong word. Right. But
we can see the whole of SPALE togging their way along, trying to find, I think, Mousesports. This is a fun battle. I mean, they wouldn't be taking Togs at Gamescom, I believe, Mousesports at least. Look how far Aga is ahead. He's like that fish who's always, out of place on his own.
But yeah, guys, if you have just tuned in and you're not sure what's going on, neither do we. But it is Mouse up against SPALE. With these two teams, you've got to expect something like this. In a game where, obviously, Mouse are already qualified in the top 3, SPALE thought, let's have a little bit of fun here. Himmelsdorf, not necessarily our map, even though we are good at Ensk. Let's play some Togs. So we are seeing Tog City with, yeah, very slow action.
Very slow action. They haven't even got halfway through the map, and we're in, well, 2.5 minutes in. Well, 2 minutes in, almost. So, GG to SPALE so far. They'll probably be the offensive team. You can see Mousesports.
Does this count as offensive?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's mental. I mean, Mousesports even sitting in the base, they're not even going offensive. I mean, they can't help themselves. So we got to play seriously when we're playing Togs. Doesn't matter what tank.
Indeed, serious times. Then the Togs are forming a bit of a. It's the flying V almost. They're heading out now towards Dovahkiin. They have spotted in, surprisingly, his Tog. And we do see a couple of shots being let off, but no hits yet. Actually, first shot has landed. It's Alien to receive the first, Vile to receive the second. None in retort, though.
Ooh, look at that damage. 140, 150. Huge shots coming out. Mousesports getting blown apart completely. Another 142 from Euralfish. Carmen's also taking a pounding. And, well, it's just mental, this tank. It does so much damage. Look at look at the side of this one. Agility, he's got rid of it on the side of it. Troll.
I love this
Agility
game
is just the wrong word for that.
Sheer irony at its finest, but Voil did do a fantastic push then, I've got to say it. Really sprinting ahead in his Tog, and BND getting the first frag there, taking down Butcher. Tog v Tog action, SPALE getting the first.
Indeed, Viles is going to be the next target for WoT. He's going to come around this corner, absolutely screaming if he actually gets there. I mean, can he even turn this corner? Is the corner like big enough for his tank to turn? But if he does do it, then Viles in big trouble.
Yeah, turning circle of a tank has never seemed more appropriate than now. Boyle is trying to back away, avoiding one of the shells that now you can see the rest of Mouse are coming in on. So we do see a couple laying down some shells, does get a connection onto WoT, and more shells flying in across that center of the map. And we do see one of the players getting in real trouble now in his TOG, surprisingly, trying to sprint away for... I can't take myself seriously here.
Elian goes down by WoT. Neopazorni also taking out Eurofish at the moment. Well, SPALE do have it, I think, so they're doing pretty well. But Mousesports, I think they got caught inside, surprisingly, considering how big the sides are. It's not particularly hard to get caught in the side. I mean, just drive anywhere on the map and you get caught in the side. But Neopazorni's on 159 HP, so it's going to be hard for WoT to one-shot him. He's going to do the mouse trick here. Side-scraping trick, otherwise known as. But now Mapetti's going to take down a good shot from Carmen. 1v1, though, who do you think is going to win?
The TOG.
The TOG?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
But we do now see Carmen in trouble. The rest of SPALE are now making their way towards him. Mouse now on the back foot, or backtrack now, as Carmen left on 164, making it 11 HP. As Thierry and Mokyalumi laying down the fire, they do get the final connection. And could have capped, is what Alien said. And with such speed and grace behind the TOG, I'm surprised they didn't. But now Boyle is in trouble. The rest of SPALE are closing in slowly but surely, as WoT can't land the final blow. But the rest of SPALE will be ready and waiting. And there we have it. First map will go to SPALE. TOG in hell.
TOG in hell.
TOG in hell.
Brilliant game by SPALE. Very well played.
But the thing is, right, now with that in mind, they're going to be a map up. If they're playing Ensk, in theory, they could win this one now.
They could. It's a good point. I mean, they're 1-0 up. If they're going to take the TOGs again, they could be the team that is literally like godlike on TOGs. Like, they're not, well, they're staying in 8th place. They haven't done particularly well this season, but if they just take TOGs and we turn this into a complete TOG battle, like Season 3 is just TOGs, then they might be the best team.
They could be. They could be working on those strategies right now.
I think they are.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a secret trick they put up their sleeve. But the first map does go to SPALE, and we have been told they're only been messing around on one map. Do not fear, guys. That was just them to kind of lighten the mood. Obviously, it doesn't matter to the overall rankings now. 1 to 6 is confirmed for Gamescom, but as we said, the rankings, the seedings, everything else comes off the back of that.
Yep.
Who the likes of SPALE will be facing up against to make sure they claim their place into Season 3. But, they haven't come off badly from that. They picked up the win. I don't think they'll be too upset that they kind of messed around on the first map, but it will be serious from now on. And with Ensk following up, maybe they're going to have the upper hand here. A little bit of momentum, keeping it cheerful on, whatever voice comms they're using, whether it be TeamSpeak, Raycall. They're just kind of be chatting away, spirits up and high, but we're going to have to find out. Because Ensk is a very different kettle of fish. You can't really see TOGs throughout, I hope, I pray.
I think it's almost too dynamic for it to really work, because imagine if one team goes all the way to one side and the other one goes all the way to the other side. They're never going to meet each other. It's just going to, 10 minutes is going to be over, they're going to draw before they even get one shot off. So maybe Ent's not the best map for TOGs. I never thought I'd be saying that. I never thought I'd be saying that.
And you worried about those tier 1 questions. Now you have a whole different variety coming at you. Why don't they play all TOG?
God, you just have to do that, don't you?
Anyone going to Gamescom, get your questions ready for him, because he's such a cheerful person all the time. He loves being asked tier 1 questions, especially, or artillery if you want a bit of variety. Maybe a TOG in there as well. Just chuck it in. Maybe his favourite fruit. Anyway, we are going to get ready to get the tank picks underway, so let's spin over to that screen and have a look what we're going to be getting so far. And they just both said ready, so I'm diving in straight away, because I want to see something other than a TOG appear on my screen. I'm excited now for tank picks.
It's good. It's good. It's good motivation, especially considering, well, it's SPALE versus Mousesports on Ensk, because SPALE obviously the amazing team on Ensk. They're going to pick something unusual here. I think, although we got rid of the TOGs, I feel their trolling is not over yet. Maybe it's just the beginning. So expect all artillery or all AMX 3090s or something crazy like that. But SPALE, Ensk, they're still going to win regardless.
Really? So you reckon if they went all RT,
I think they would.
They'd still pull it off? Oh, I'll take this bet. If they go all RT, I'll take that bet. I'm backing SPALE as well. That's the thing. I'm behind these guys. They were my prediction. I'm saying they're going to do it. But I don't think with all RT they can take on Mouse. We'll see.
We'll see. My calls are pretty bad,
Awful.
so probably probably a good shout, though.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we'll just have to wait for them to get themselves ready to pick. But Mousesports, I think SPALE are just kind of testing the water. They don't want to give away anything too early. But we're seeing the usual picks now. A sigh of relief was felt throughout the studio here as T1 was said.
That wonderful T1. I can't believe I would have
I've never been so happy
I've never
to
been
see
so
a tier
happy to
one.
see 2 T1s before. Amazing. Thank you. I would have even gone for a lull track. Even a lull track would be all right in that situation. But yes, normal picks. 2 AMX 5100s from Mousesports, followed by 2 AMX 5100s from SPALE, and then Mousesports picking another 2 IS3s. Is that you? Is that you opening a can of Red Bull?
No, that was me merely being so excited by Muppety saying boring in chat because they are going for the usual picks and he wanted to go all toggle, all arty, just to really throw it out there. But we are going to be seeing a normal game this time.
Yep.
And it is on ENSC, so we'll be seeing SPALE in their element as such. This is their home turf, really. They've claimed this city as their own. So I'm curious to see what we're going to get. I'm
very curious. The last pick from Mousesports was a T69. For SPALE, it was an AMX 5100, so double AMX 5100, double IS3, T69, and 2 T1 Culliams for Mousesports, the standard lineup for them on this map at least. It looks pretty standard at least. I think SPALE have gone for the same, but with maybe one more AMX 5100 instead of an IS3. Let me just have a little count. Yeah, they've picked 3 AMX 5100s, 2 IS3s, 1 IS3, even then T69 and 2 T1. So normal tanks, as Theory says, oh my god, normal tanks. Sad face. I'm pretty happy about it, to be honest.
I want to see these two go head-to-head because last time they, obviously met up, it was 3-1 to Mousesports, but SPALE, they're a talented side. They do have the ability to challenge, so I kind of want to see them do a little bit better. Both teams are ready, nevertheless, so get yourselves prepared for ENSC. On paper, it should be SPALE's victory, but that's on paper, and we've seen that been screwed up and thrown out the window a lot of times here. But they've had a fun game that's kind of playing to their style. They're normally that team who likes to have a bit of fun with things. They're normally quite light-hearted, so already getting a little bit of confidence beside them. They now have the usual tanks, usual setup, and on this map, we kind of reckon that SPALE might actually take this one. So guys at home, get your predictions out, get drawing, because we will be going to the second map now. It will be Mouse up against SPALE. Get ready. And welcome to ENSC. In the blue corner, we will be seeing Mouse starting from the south, whereas in the north, in the gold and yellow, it will be SPALE. So first map did go to the hands of SPALE, but I don't know about this one. On paper, it should be SPALE's game. It should be SPALE's map. But maybe Mouse have something to say about that fact. What are we seeing so far?
SPALE's do like the northern spawn, so they are pushing up towards the city. BND in the AMX 5100 Theories backing him up. We got Eurofist in the back as well. Muppety playing the IS3 and Dovahkiin across the rest of the flank. The first spot will be coming that T1. He's obviously not playing the T69. Elian will be taking that job, although he usually is the normal player. So maybe they're switching the roles a bit for Gamescom. But obviously, as I said, Mousesports are only doing about maybe 50–60% of what they're capable of doing this online. They're just trying to qualify 6, and they're going to bring it up to the next level at Gamescom. Viola spotted as well in the T1 by Muppety in the IS3, and SPALE pushing quite far forwards, but not connecting that shell on Viola, actually missing it. But at the moment, pretty standard stuff from SPALE.
Yeah, it is very normal start from these guys, but Mouse playing quite passive, but we do see that T69 breaking forward along that 6 and 7 line to try and get a little bit further up. And it might not be a bad move, but now Eurofish being spotted, he could be in trouble. Now he's fairly away from the rest of his side. And you can see Niz is coming around as well. It's going to be a nice clash here in the middle.
Snips there, Puzzling, and Butcher as well. We can see Elian's being spotted out straight away. Dovahkiin's taking another shot. Elian actually retracting there, but first engagement.
Yeah, indeed. Now Puzzling making his way forward. It's Snip joining in onto Eurofish. Both guys teaming up on him. Only 54 HP left. Taken down by Butcher eventually. And an upper hand to Mouse early on. And now the split out SPALE need to somehow work this one back. As Niz is in trouble though. 5-2-6. Puzzling coming around from the side. Gets some fire onto Muppety, but Butcher now getting some fire as well. Knocked down to for 1102777, but Mupty breaking off himself. This is going right down to the wire between these guys. It's going to be a close battle to see who's going to edge ahead, but it's an exchange. B&D taking down Butcher as Nees was taken out by Mupty, so both frags going back and forth, but the battle continues.
Dovahkiin's taking a lot of shots down to 373, so you can see Karma to his left trying to probe forwards, maybe trying to cap. Dovahkiin's going to push around to Elian. I believe Elian's actually reloading in that T69, so he'll be able to get a couple of shots. But with Snip and Puzzling, he's not going to take the risk. Oh, yes, he is, in fact, and he'll get punished for it, being completely blown away by Puzzling, but now Snip's pushing in.
Yeah, indeed. Great play coming out very early on between these guys. Let's see what Snip can do as that flag is being capped. Snip makes his way back. Easy work for him, taking down Agaher in that T1. As now only 3 survive for SPALE. They've been worked down, beaten up, and beaten black and blue by the Mousesports guys. You can see Karma now in that T1 with Voil, just capping the flag, applying further pressure. And now it's just a matter of finding the remains of SPALE. He's just dancing around the houses, finding the frag. It was actually Alien to find the frag onto Moki Alumi. And now Thierry and B&D, the last 2 standing. Alien, though, on the prowl, looking further forward, trying to find a way around to get that shot off. He did catch a glimpse of them, but the flag is still being captured.
Indeed, it is. B&D's going to push in MX5100 style. Takes a big shot, 447 onto the side of his tank. Viol and Carmen are probably actually maybe going to be able to take him down. He goes to 77 HP just from the T1. The power of that beast. Tank doing a lot of damage. Snip comes in from the side with the MX5100. Good little shot from him, and now only Theory's left on 669, and Ilian will actually connect the first shot. Puzzling is in the background to connect another. 76 HP left on Theory. He's also tracked, but Puzzling's now reloading. Ilian's on low health, so he doesn't want to push around onto this AMX5100. But at the moment, it looks awfully like SPALE's going to take another crushing defeat, but surprisingly on Ensk.
Yeah, Mousesports winning that one. Wow. Not what we'd expect to see there. And how did Mouse play that one out? That was very different to their usual kind of style of playing there. Like, you normally see them very collected, very cool, calm. You know, they don't make stupid judgment calls on that map. But that time they seemed a little bit worse for wear as such. They got completely taken apart. That T69 pushing up from Mouse, you know, really caught them off guard. Early fire was put down. They picked up the opening and they ran with it. What went wrong for SPALE then?
SPALE kind of just suicided a bit. I mean, I'm like a broken clock, because I always say that. They literally just push in and get themselves killed. I think the problem was, not sure who it was one of the MX5100s. He pushed him from the side. I think it was actually Eurofish, the team leader of SPALE. He just pushed him from the side right into Mousesports. He got taken down in a matter of seconds. And then from that point onwards, SPALE don't have a tier 8 tank to support with a lot of damage and a lot of HP. So straight away you're on the back foot. And considering Eurofish only did about, I think it was about 600 damage, maybe 900 damage, it was almost impossible for SPALE to recover from that point. They did pretty well, taking a lot of the tanks down pretty low. I mean, Carmen, I think actually Elian in the T69 from Mousesports he was on something about 89 HP at the end. So they did a good job of damaging a lot of tanks, but they didn't do anything about finishing them off.
Yeah, and it's just showing the disparity there between the table. Obviously, being third position, you do get a little bit of advancement in the ability to finish out games. That's the thing with SPALE. They do normally kind of have that great exchange, but they have an issue finishing out certain games against certain teams. Obviously, some teams they've really excelled against. The top teams, the top 2, they've done brilliantly against very close games and beating one of them. But we are going to Prokhorovka next. Now, who do you think this one suits more? We've seen 2 city maps almost to kick off with, which on paper are more SPALE's game style, but who does this one really suit a little bit more? Because I haven't seen a lot of Mouse on this, though. But I have seen a lot of SPALE who've pulled out some crazy tactics before on this very map. So I'm not sure how to kind of take this one between these 2.
But the thing about Mousesports, the reason why they are such a good team these days, they won so much stuff. They've won CBIT, you got to remember that one. It's because they can play these maps well. As surprisingly, they were known as Lemming Train before. They were quite a static defensive team, but as they moved and progressed as a team, they started becoming a lot more dynamic, a lot towards the Russian playstyle, which is the superior playstyle. Some of the ways the Russians have developed their team tactics, and also some of the top European teams, it's just unbelievable. So Mousesports they've been playing the catch-up game, but they've been doing it pretty well. That's why they're sitting in third place now, and they finished third place in Season 1 as well. So you've always got to bear that in mind. They are a very good team on maps like this. Tank picks have started, though. Elian picking 2 T1s, same as SPALE. They're both picking the 2 American T1 tanks. 2 MX-3090s from SPALE will be the next pick. as will it be from Mouse. So they're going for that fast spearhead, tier 8 French light tank. Go for the middle probably, try and get a couple of spots out, maybe filter off towards the village area. Two T69s from SPALE will be their next pick. Again, a lot about firepower in that tank, you know, 4-shell autoloader, 25 seconds. You can do about a K damage in that, well, probably about 3 or 4 or 5 seconds maybe, space between shells. T69 being the last pick from SPALE. Before that was Mousesports picking another 2 T69, so they're pretty much a mirrored pick. Although Mousesports' last pick would be an AMX 3090, so going for that triple AMX 3090, double T69, double T1, while SPALE going for the triple T69, double AMX 3090, double T1.
Yeah, and bear in mind, last time these two faced off, Prokhorov was won by Mouse, obviously creating that 3-1 scoreline. So, you know, if we're going by past results and past ways they play, this should be Mouse's map, which would give them an advantage because we are all even at the moment. We are on 1-1. That first game, that first TOG game going in favour of SPALE. The second that should have been theirs did go to Mouse. But guys, we are going to be going into Prokhorovka. It's going to be a very different situation. Maybe time to turn the tides. Maybe SPALE can step up. Let's find out. And welcome to the third map. It will be Prokhorovka. It's all even overall. But in that south spawn, it will be the blue boys of Mousesports, whereas in the north, in the gold and yellow, it will be the one and only SPALE. So let's see how they're doing overall initially. It seems as though it's one of those maps where we get to see a lot from the early moves. So what are we seeing so far?
Well, SPALE doing the normal stuff, pushing straight up forwards with all their tanks. Dovahkiin is the guy in front, BND's even further in front, so they'll be the guys responsible for the initial spots for against Mousesports. But you got Theory, Aga and Eurofish in the T69 to the left. Butcher will be the first spotted from Mousesports, but Nia Pazzorni, Snip and Elianex as well as Carmen playing that T1 are in the background. Both teams, in terms of positioning, very similar, but just on the other side of the hill. Theory will be the first to take the first shot down. He's down to 1-1-0-1, so at the moment, Mousesports have the HP advantage.
Yeah, that they do, and they are also pushing up on that 1 and 2 line. The likes of Niz and Snip all pushing away. Alien finding Mokilumi very early on in that T1. BND spotted as well, so everyone knows just about where everyone else is, but it's all about the execution now. We know who's normally coming out better from that. Niz is laying down the fire. Dovahkiin being tagged up there, 857, but the reply on to Alien as well, so back and forth between these two. Alien now in trouble. Let's see what he's going to do in this situation now, surrounded by SPALE members with no hill really between them. He's got to be careful, and he is going to back away. 6-3-2, he gets remained on, so he might be able to readjust from this and hopefully find a better way to challenge.
But you can see the whole of SPALE pushing up. They are slowly creeping forwards, all their firepower. The triple T69s will be absolutely devastating to those 269, but we have an engagement. Nia Pazzorni's in trouble.
He is now surrounded by SPALE, who are pushing straight forward. 401 left on him. He's going to lay down some fire, but to no avail, as he'll be taken out rather swiftly, as the rest of Mouse are now going to have to try and pick up the pieces, but they're falling like flies. Alien does find Eurofish, but the damage is certainly being done right now.
Butcher's going to take another 252. Aga's taking a lot of damage. I think he's also tracked. No, he isn't. It's just puzzling from the side. Alien will do the final kill. Brilliant play by him. Theory's going to push in as well.
Yeah, indeed, they're going to have to. Snipe trying to lay down the fire. He's got some good connection onto Thierry, but he's backing away. Butcher getting out there as well. These guys are back and forthing all the way they go, and every single kill has been mirrored back and leaving it in a real, rather close 4v4 situation. The rest of Mouse are now spread out. You see 658 left on Snip. Butcher 373, puzzling 1100, keeping himself nice and healthy, and Viol really far back in that T1, just holding further away. Snip peering forward, and that T69 does actually connect on Thierry, so unmirrored damage. That's how they want to work this down, but finally gets caught by a shell, having to back away as well, as these guys have really got a tough situation. But have a look at the tier points. Mouse still with a firm upper hand here. More further fire coming in as the exchange goes straight down. It's puzzling to take down Thierry, as now BND is going to be getting hammered from every single side. 370 left on, he is out of there. Butcher finding B&D. Now Moki Alumi in a world of trouble with just about all eyes on him, as now only Muppety stands in his Tier 1. It's pretty much GG. We've seen some fantastic Tier 1 play, but I don't think there's anything he can do here, as the remainder of Mouse just plow into him, and we do have Mousesports winning that map in firm, usual style. No togs there, no cheesy tactics, just pure ability. That was some real aggressive play coming out as well.
That was some real sandbox play coming out there. Just everyone deciding to kind of charge in randomly. SPALE did well at the beginning to take down Nia Pizzoni in the T69, so they had the advantage at that point, but that's about it. They lost the positioning.
Yep.
They lost pretty much everything in that. I mean, BND could have saved it at the end. He could have taken down a couple of the tanks they were sitting on low. I think one was on 373, one was on 169. So he could have easily done the damage, but he kind of went in, which was a good call from him. But he missed like 4 shots in a row. I mean, you can't miss those 4 shots. You can't miss 1 shot. You can't miss, you know, another 3 after that. It's just not going to win you the games at all. So he's got to have a look at himself, maybe play back the replays and see what he did wrong there. Perhaps gun depression coming into the equation, that MX 1390. So at the end of the day, SPALE did well at the beginning, but again, throwing it in the later games.
It's sad to see, because they're such a talented side. We say it time and time again, and every now and then they prove us right, but every now and then
we keep on saying it, but they just don't seem to step up
when we're here.
Yeah, we're like, okay, they'll be better at the end of season 2 or better at the end towards season 3, but are they? I mean, we see them how good they can be, but are they actually going to step up, guys? Let us know on WoT Pro League Twitter and Facebook if you think SPALE will actually ever step up and go towards that, well, top 3 spots in the season ranking. So that's going to be interesting to see.
I want them to. That's the thing. I really do. But it will be Steps next. It's a different kettle of fish. It's a little bit similar to Prokhorovka in essence, and in fact it's one of those open maps. But who do you think more favours Mouse clearly showing their dominance on the last map? I don't think we can call much from the first 2, really. Should have gone SPALE's way, but they kind of just didn't really work with it that well. But Steps, I'm feeling this is a Mouse map, but take us through the details as why you think it's one or the other.
I think that's a good call. I mean, we saw Prokhorovka, Mousesports dominating SPALE. I mean, Prokhorovka is an open map, as is Steps. So in terms of that, and on paper, well, Mousesports won 3-1 already this season. So I think Steps is it's going to be for Mousesports. Mousesports did beat SPALE on Steps in the previous game they played this season as well. So I think they're going to take it, although one of SPALE's crazy pushes could perhaps hinder that. But I honestly think Mousesports, that they're a little bit too consistent for SPALE.
That's the thing. As much as you love throwing out those cheesy tactics or those kind of strange ones that SPALE always seem to do, when you're that consistent like Mouse, they can handle it. That's the thing. You know, they're such a drilled inside. I think they are almost ready to get the tank picks underway. So guys, let's put our eyes towards that and have a little look to what we're going to be seeing here on Steps.
So 2 T1s coming from Mousesports. SPALE also picking those 2. So 2 standards picks from them. That gives us the indication that the rest of the tanks will be just Tier 8. So a combination of T69s, AMX 1390s, perhaps the WZ132 from one of these 2 teams. The first 2 picks after the 2 T1s obviously are going to be the AMX 1390s. SPALE and Mousesports picking both. So at the moment, 2 T1s, 2 AMX 1390s for both teams. Just probably going to be the next pick will be a T69. Perhaps a T69 AMX 1390 combo. We'll have to see that. Okay, it will be the AMX 1390 T69 combo. So again, like Prokhorov, we're going for that speed, going for that maneuverability, that agility, that ability to really focus down tanks, which the AMX 1390 and T69 do so well. The T342, is that a tank?
What?
I mean, it might be T69, but you can't write. I'm not sure.
I kind of want it to be a tank now.
T342.
That's a long way away from T69.
It's a long way from T69.
Like, my typing's bad,
you can't even count that high.
I don't think I have that many fingers, so...
No, you don't have that many fingers.
No.
You might do, I don't know.
I'm not from the West Country, come on, please.
You're from London.
Please. I've been trying to be nice to you about these jokes, dear Lord.
Alright, so the last pick will be an AMX 1390. The last pick from Mousesports was a T342. I'm not sure what tank that is. But yeah, accents aside, Mousesports is ready. And we're just waiting on the all-clear from SPALE. Again, I'm not sure what that T342 is, because SPALE hasn't really joined the battle yet. They've got a few people in the garage.
They're just weighing it out.
They're weighing it out, I think. Yeah. But yeah, from Mousesports, triple AMX 1390, a T69, a T342. I'm going to have a look at this, actually. I'd see...
This can't be a new tank that we've never seen. Oh,
It's a new tank. I think it's tier 8. Yeah, it's tier 8. So it's going to be a Russian tank of some kind. I think it's probably a medium tank, perhaps even a light. So it will probably have a gun similar to other Russian tanks of that tier. So T-44, for instance, which has pretty good tank, a pretty good gun. It does about 200 damage per shot, a little bit less actually, but it does it very quickly. So maybe a good pick. We haven't seen it before. Mousesports perhaps testing stuff out, as he said before, for Gamescom. Which tanks will they be wanting to use there? They are a team that likes to innovate. Remember them taking the single grill against SPALE, where they actually beat them and won that CBIT event. And also that double grill they used against Team Dignitas, which completely failed at DreamHack. So all those things come into the equation. But just it's going to be one of those interesting picks that will either work fantastically or just completely just go nowhere.
Yeah, well, I like the way we did see, a question coming in not too long ago. Why don't they try out new tanks? Is there any that are viable? Maybe we're going to find out towards the later end of the season. I don't think any of us predicted to see a new tank kind of being thrown in, but maybe this is their preparation towards Season 3, towards all the other tournaments they may, jump themselves into just to make sure they're ready for this. And obviously ready for Season 3 itself, because more prize money on the line. Obviously the finals will be there as well. But guys, we are going to get ready to go into the 4th map now. It's in favor at the moment to Mouse, 2-1, but things can change. Maybe SPALE have something in the bag. Let's find out. And welcome to Steps. In that golden color, we will be seeing SPALE taking on the blue Mouse, starting in the north. And, well, so far, Mouse have the upper hand. 2 maps in the bag, whereas SPALE only claiming 1. But we're seeing an interesting pick, as you said, coming out from Mouse there, getting that Chinese tank in there. I'm kind of curious as to how they fancy playing this one out. I'm very interested to see how this one goes. But we are seeing the normal starts here. But what are we seeing from the likes of your guys as well? Because Mouse are looking like they're going to go down towards that 8 and 9 line, using the defilades down there and kind of battling out around the rock faces.
It looks an extremely confused SPALE at the moment. They're just driving forwards and backwards. I'm not sure what they're doing. Maybe they're considering what they want to do, what tactics they are doing. But the MX-39 is finally making a decision, probably waiting for BND and Eurofish to join in the fun. But you can see Mokalumi and Marpetti in the background, Theory in the T69, ready to back those AMX-39s up. They have got 4 of them, so deadly stuff. Puzzling being the first to be spotted, but let's see how that T342, I mean, I said it's a Russian tank. I guess it is based on a Russian tank, since it looks very much like a T-34 to me. But yeah, first shot being exchanged, Overkey missing, but Agaho's now in trouble.
Yeah, Agaho in a world of trouble. Well, he's been taking 2 shells down, 1-4-4, and he's swiftly removed from the battle. As Snip will take him out of there. The rest of SPALE looking like they're in trouble as well. Dovahkiin breaking off, trying to get around onto Snip, but he's now just got himself in the middle of a lot of Mouse players, and we're seeing them absolutely decimate the opposition now as BND getting himself taken down as well. 3-1, 1-1-7. It's only a matter of time. Eurofish has to get in there and try and support, but it's merely an absolute slaughter right now as Mouse just steamroll over whatever SPALE could have just thrown at them then. And now only 3 remain, 2 T1s, and then Thierry in that T69, looking like he wants to go on to Carmen, but what a great shell coming through
413
there.
damage.
Wow, that was astounding.
Unbelievable amount of damage from that T342. That may be a very good pick from Mousesports. Absolute decimation. Not exactly sure how much damage that can thing do, but I think it's probably around the IS-3. Elian's going to come charging in. 3's down to 2-1-6. Last shot from Elian will probably do it, but he's probably reloading at this point with a gun like that. Puzzling will do the final shell, taking down Theory in that T69, and again, those 2 T1s left to try and pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and with all the will in the world, I don't think they can do much here. Even the good lucks, GG well played, good luck at Gamescoms are being said from SPALE. They're great guys. If you are big fans, make sure you follow them on Twitter and WOT_SPALE, I think it is. Make sure you give them some love because they're a fantastic team who've done so well throughout this. And we've seen a new tank being introduced that could be actually viable as well. The damage it was dealing was astounding.
Amazing.
Yeah, indeed. But only Mupti now stands for SPALE, the remaining member. The remaining man up against a hell of a lot of fire, and there we go. Puzzling will ram him out of the game. And we do see the first game going in favor to Mousesports. And that was a very interesting game to actually have, end on almost, because SPALE just did, you know, a random push through the center of the map. Not sure why that happened. I think there's a few communication issues they were saying in chat might have been the issue there, but nevertheless they couldn't pull it together in time. We did see Mouse just stamping their dominance over that entire map then. That was fantastic play, and picking up more maps than SPALE could. SPALE only picked up one through that, and it was on a map we didn't really expect them to pick up either, really, in the TOG battle.
I mean, having won Himmelsdorf in the TOG battle, they did completely dominate Mousesports then. But apart from that, I mean, Mousesports a complete step ahead of SPALE, especially on steps. I mean, that T342 doing so much damage, 413, I think it was one of the shells. Pretty astounding from such a little tier 8 tank. So good pick from them. Again, you know, SPALE perhaps lacking a little bit communication, and it seemed like whatever BND tried to shoot, it was like a magnet. You know, it was just directing his shells away because he just couldn't hit anything. Like every single shot was just hitting ground around. I'm not sure you know, Greenpeace is going to be onto him because he's really shooting the earth there. But yeah, SPALE, gee, I think there's it was more fun games. I don't think they took it too seriously. You can see the GG well plays and good luck in Gamescom coming out, which is
nice
very nice to see.
Yeah,
they're good friends. They met each other quite a lot of times. So good sportsmanship from that guy. We always like to see that. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
We don't want to see anyone leaving too early and not playing the game. So that's good stuff. Next game. What are we expecting?
Well, we're going to have an absolute treat. It is going to be the one and only Evil Panda squad up against Denova now. We saw Denova last time we viewed them. They really secured their position within this season so far, and they showed some real strength there. I think I finally understood why they deserved the place they got to. A real solid team, fantastic play, but the two teams will be going head-to-head. Now, these two have some interesting styles that they're going to be working out, and I'm going to be interested to see who can really pip the other to the post. But my thoughts towards it, I want Denova to win it. What about you?
I really want Denova to win it because I honestly think they're a team that's pushing forwards to be one of the top 3, even perhaps top 2, replacing maybe WoT Pro or Team Dignitas at some point. So I really want to see them develop as a team. I don't think they're going to be like SPALE or Mousesports and not take it so seriously. I don't think we're going to be seeing any TOGs being picked by Denova. They want to be getting as much practice in as they can for Gamescom, because the last time they came, which I believe was IEM Katowice or Hanover, they didn't do so well. That was under the banner of MYM. They got completely obliterated. I think that's by Kazakru. So they don't want to repeat past mistakes. They want to get the practice in. There's not a lot of time to Gamescom. It is on the 24th. So they've got a few games to play, and perhaps they're going to get some training in between that. But again, Denova, serious team, and they want to improve.
Yeah, so you've heard our thoughts towards it, but let's find out what your thoughts were towards that match. And how many of you got the predictions right as well? Because I don't think anyone would have expected the initial TOG kind of battle going down, but you might have got the scores overall correct as well. It can happen, who knows? Because it ended in a kind of way it should do on paper, really. Mousesports won it. There was one map picked up by SPALE, but it wasn't Ensk. But still, your overall guess could have been correct. So maybe you got it right. Maybe you got yourself some awesome goodies on the way. But let's introduce the lovely lady herself, the one and only Melly, who can take you through how you can get involved and what you've been saying so far. So, Melly, how is it going over in social media land?
Thank you, Pansy. Exciting in first place.
Okay.
And I shared some great fan art regarding the TOX race.
Oh, dear Lord.
On our Twitter account, so go on Twitter, WoT Pro League, follow us and check it out. I retweeted it with our account, and yeah, when it comes to the predictions, it seems, well, close to 100% we're rooting for Mousesports, but we have a few people guessing the right outcome, but Patrick and Gareth, you are the fastest, and you're getting the bonus codes. Congratulations. And I will put up the graphic for the next matchup in a few minutes, so where you can predict the exact outcome of the match and win a bonus code. I will be giving out 2. And if you have any questions, go on Twitter and, I don't know,
ask away.
Ask away. That's what I want to say. But please make sure using our hashtag WoT Pro League so I can actually find them. So we have no questions so far, but many puns. Many puns. So
like
go
the
check
puns.
them out.
It's been punerific so far already, hasn't it? There's been just a million that could be made, to be fair. And I'm glad you guys have been enjoying it as well with that many togs involved. It's hard not to make some, surely. But anyway, guys, coming up next, it will be Evil Panda Squad up against Denova. Now, these two have faced off before. It went in the way of the Polish Evil Panda Squad. But whether it will again, we can only find out. So, guys, we'll be back after the break, and hopefully you will be as well. Make sure you follow the page here on Twitch, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes, maybe 10 if they take their time, and we'll be bringing you that game.